So in a previous video, I chronicled my adventures with the bowline, which is a fairly simple knot to tie, but I found myself every now and then not being able to tie it correctly, and I was a little frustrated by that. So on the coronavirus break here, I challenged myself to be able to tie it in as many different ways as I might encounter it in the world. And what I came up with over the last week of practicing is about 16 different ways that the rope can be oriented before you start your knot. So I thought I'd go through those here today and kind of challenge myself and see if I've gotten any better at tying the bowline under a variety of conditions. So what I found, for the most part, the most sensible way for me to tie it is always to take the rope over and toward my fingertips. Over on itself toward my fingertips. Over on itself toward my fingertips. If I'm holding it in my right hand, over toward itself on my fingertips, or over toward itself on itself toward the fingertips. Now that's just one of the three different ways the rope can be oriented. If I come back here, I could go over in toward the palm of the hand, or under toward the fingertips, or under toward the palm of the hand. So if I do that in the four different positions, underneath my left hand, on top of my left hand, underneath my right, and over top of my right, I come to 16 different setups, and I want to see if I can actually do all 16 in a row here and get a good bowline each time. So why don't we give that a shot? So I'm going to start with my preferred way, which is to take the rope over upon itself and then up, around, and through. There we go. There's number one. Now, if instead I find myself with the rope not over and toward the fingertips, but under, I have to do what I've taken to calling a underground bowline. I have to see this upside down as I tie it. Like so. There we go. There's number two. Now, if instead I take the rope over upon itself, but it leads me into the palm of my hand, not too bad. I'm going to come up from underneath, around, and through. That's not number three. But if instead I've looped my rope under and toward the palm, again, I have to think of this as that underground bowline. I'm not going to come out through the loop. I'm going to go down through it, around, and through. There's bowline number four. If I want to tie that knot above my hand, again, I can start in my preferred manner, which is to loop it over on itself toward the fingertips. Take it around. Bring it through. That's knot number five. What if, however, the rope is underneath? Then again, I have to start thinking of that underground bowline and see the whole thing upside down like so. There we go. There's knot number six. I could, of course, loop over in toward the palm. And these orientations are kind of awkward. I don't think in the real world I would ever try to do this, but who knows? Maybe I'd have to someday. There we go. There's knot number seven. And again, if instead of going over onto the palm, I came under onto the palm, I'd again have to think of that underground bowline. I have to come out of the hole come around, and then go back through. There we go. There's bowline number 8. Now a little harder for me, because it's not my preferred hand, to do all those same orientations, holding the knot, or excuse me, holding the rope with my right hand. Here's my preferred way of tying. Bowline number 9. What if instead of turning over toward the fingers, I turned under toward the fingers? Well, then I've got to do that underground bowline and come back through that way. So there's bowline number 10, I believe. I could always loop over into the palm, and again, this is a fairly awkward way to tie this. You can see that it's very, very difficult. It takes a lot of effort to get the rope oriented correctly, certainly more awkward than the other way. Instead of going over into the hand, I could come under, and then I've got to use that underground bowline idea. And again, you can see it's not the easiest thing to do, but I do okay with that one. So that, I believe, is bowline number 12. 4 more to go here. If I come, in my preferred method, over toward the fingers, pretty smooth, out, around, and down, bowline number 13. If instead I go under, I've got to do my underground bowline here again and snake through. Bowline number 14. 2 more to go here. Again, if I'm holding this above my hand and I loop over, I've got to do a little gymnastics here to get everything going. Bowline number 15. And one last one. If instead of coming over, I come under into the hand, then I need to do my underground bowline. A little small, but it works. So 16 bowlines, overhand, underhand, left-handed, right-handed, upside down, right side up. Hopefully now I'll be ready for any situation in which a bowline is required. If you can think of any other variations that I missed in terms of how my hands are oriented or how the rope is oriented, I'd love to hear about them. Hope you enjoyed this, and enjoy my other videos as well if you see them. Thanks.